Hello everyone and welcome to Destructive Hearts Gaming. My name is Jess and today I'm going to talk a little bit about this channel and the reason why it started up. I enjoy when people come with me on many adventures, especially when it comes to the gaming community. But primarily I wanted to build this channel and its focus around coming together as a whole and donating to different charities who need our help. So on that note, what we'll do is on the 28th of every month, I'll update on our contributions that we were able to do that month and donate them to the charities that were selected through polls or the most comments on them. From there, we'll pick the charities that the up and coming charities for the next month. So if you like what we're doing or if you like the gameplay, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you and enjoy the gameplay. Alrighty, and the game we are playing is Moonlighters. As we wait to get to the menu sequence, I'll give a little description about this game. It is a Binding of Isaac inspired type dungeon looter game. So with that said, like I said, this will be a let's play of it to see how much content we can get out of it. I already put in about 23 hours into this game and I absolutely love it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the game. Alrighty, and as we enter into this tutorial area, there really isn't a lot going on, just going over the basics of how the game works. Here we see moving in many directions, forward, backwards. Transitioning to this next room, we learn how to roll dodge. Pretty important in this game to get over these ravines. Alrighty, now we transition into dodging enemies. Pretty easy, self-explanatory. And also dodging projectiles. Here you see me use the broom, trying to get these spider webs off, don't mind me. And we are able to power through by holding down the B button. It's a concept that's, not yet introduced, but we'll learn more about it in the next room. Alrighty, now transitioning to this next room, exactly like I was saying, we learned about holding down B and charging up. This helps with several different type of weapon types that are in this game. The broom or the staff is a pretty good example. We're also going to learn how to loot from these chests after defeating the enemies, all the enemies in the room, of course. Just taking all this, and we're going to transition to this next room, which unfortunately the game forces you to lose. So, and what I mean by that is, you'll see here, I'm hitting the enemies, but I suddenly die. So, yeah, that happens. It just spits us right back out, and we get to meet a good old friend of ours from the village. So after some time, our old-time friend comes in to check up on us after dragging us back from the very first dungeon. Yeps, there is more than one dungeon in this game. There is 5, in fact. The first one is the Golem. He sits here and explains to us how we really shouldn't be out adventuring too much, but we should be taking care of our grandfather's shop, the Moonlighter. And so he tells us to, really be careful and to sit here and listen to him, the hard truth about life, that we all can't go out and be famed adventurers and also managing to keep a shop. But he tells us to try not to give up on our dreams necessarily, but not to be too foolish about it. Here our old friend hands us a shield and sword that used to be his. This is the second item that we will be getting. The best item, in my opinion, is the heavy sword or the great sword. Obviously along with the spear because of its distance and the ability to be able to go through objects and some walls. So he'll come down here and teach us how to run the shop. To give us a quick refresher, pretty much the whole point of the shop is to be able to make money, of course. As you can see in the left hand corner, we don't got a lot of money. Our sack will change over time depending on how much items we sell and the price that we sell them at. This tutorial phase will show us the difference between how to market items. As you can see, the customer loves this item because of the price that it's at. Later on, you'll see that the next item, which was the exact same that this lady picked up, is going for 170 gold pieces. And he'll sit here and explain the process between fair and unfair markups. As we'll see here, this gentleman is not too happy about it. He's kind of disappointed. So our old friend here teaches us to obviously not overprice items. Alrighty, and then this next part he talks about the merchant handbook, and pretty much while we go adventuring, it will register pretty much most items that we come across. In this portion, it will show when customers are happy and not happy about it, and where sometimes certain items can be found. Now, the merchant's handbook is pretty good for almost everything. The recommended things that I've seen when trying to put items up is to put one at a time. This helps out to be able to feel out the prices. Generally in this first dungeon, not a lot will go for a lot of gold, but later on we'll see the difference in one item selling. Now, it's not recommended, but it's alright. From here on, he leaves us and we'll continue our adventures in this first dungeon. There's plenty of other characters that we can unlock, items and abilities later on in the game. So, just showing off the shield and sword. Little defense, little offense, getting pumped up before going back, getting my my revenge. My goal for this Let's Play is to make as much money as possible, to be able to get as many items early before we go into the fourth dungeon. So here we go. Every time we enter a dungeon, is randomly generated with enemies, loot, the whole nine. So we'll clear out this first room, making our way over to the second room. Alrighty. Now this next and up and coming room is common in all the dungeons. We get to learn a little bit more about the lore of the background. Like stated in the beginning of this Let's Play, many adventures came through, but not a lot of them came back out. So here we'll learn a little bit more about the dungeon's main boss, mini bosses, and any additional information. Here we see the map of all 4 dungeons and the 5th dungeon. Each dungeon contains several loot. Here we learn about the pendant. This is usually good for early on in the game, to be able to take back the resources to be able to sell them. We see here everything that we slayed, transitioning into, boom, this portal that took us right back to the Moonlighter. Here our old friend comes and tells us that we were finally using the right resources for the pendant to be able to get back, and he asks us what we're holding, and it's that map that we found, and he explains a little bit about old Pete, which used to be an adventurer who had a crazy theory about trying to go to the 5th dungeon. Now here our old friend tells us about the town board. This is a really good way to be able to manage the way we upgrade the Moonlighter, but not just that, but how we get more people to come in, such as the blacksmith and the enchantress. Making our way back now. The only way that I know to save in this game is to rest in our bed on the home side of the shop. Here at the desk we'll see the page that we pulled from the dungeon, talking about a little bit of the lore. And now we're just gonna take a quick little cat nap. We're just gonna go snooze, wake up. And unfortunately, with that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jess, and unfortunately we did run out of time. If you like the gameplay that you've been seeing, or if you just want to support the channel, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode of Moonlighters.